Welcome back, friends. There's a saying that no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. Wonderful things happen when we work together, isn't it? It took courage and similar teamwork every time Indians had to protect their motherland. Behind every war and every rebellion, there were many unsung heroes. Today's factor is a very special one. It's a tribute to such heroes who stayed behind their leaders, supporting them. Today's factor is about the great Indian secret agents and their courageous story. First on our list is Saraswati Rajmani. Rajmani was born on 11th January 1927 in Rangoon, Burma, the present-day Myanmar. Rajmani's family hailed from Tamil Nadu, but her father shifted to Burma for business. He owned a gold mine and was one of the most richest Indians in Rangoon. Rajmani's family was a staunch supporter of Indian freedom movement and also contributed money for the same. It was in the year 1931 when Rajmani heard the news of Bhagat Singh's death sentence, and this little Tamilian girl was deeply affected. The little Rajmani felt a deep connection with India since then. She was 10 years old when one day Mahatma Gandhi visited her father to thank him for the funds the family had sent for the movement. He was shocked to see the 10-year-old Rajmani holding a gun and aiming at a bottle in the lawn. He objected and told her that violence is never a solution. But Rajmani was too disturbed by the violence that British government showed. At the age of 16, inspired by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's speech at Rangoon, she donated all her jewelry to the INA. Realizing that the young girl might have donated the jewelry naively, Netaji visited her house to return it. However, Rajmani was adamant that he use it for the army. Impressed by her determination, he named her Saraswati. In the year 1942, during her training as a nurse, she noticed an insider leaking information to a Britisher. She immediately reported this incident to Netaji, and then he understood that this young girl was meant for more. Rajmani was recruited to the Rani of Jhansi Regiment of the INA and became a part of the Army's military intelligence wing. For almost 2 years, Rajmani and some of her female colleagues dressed as boys and gathered intelligence. Once, one of her colleagues was caught by the British troops. To rescue her, Rajmani infiltrated the British camp dressed as a maid. She managed to release her friend. While they were escaping, Rajmani was shot on the leg by a British guard, but she still managed to escape. In 2005, a newspaper reported that she was living in Chennai, and although sustained by freedom fighters' pension, she was struggling to make both ends meet. The then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha ji, provided all the required assistance to her. Saraswati Rajmani died of cardiac arrest on January 13, 2018. Next on our list is Ravindra Kaushik, the Black Tiger. Ravindra Kaushik was born in Sri Ganganagar, Rajasthan on April 11, 1952. Kaushik grew up to be a charismatic college student with above average intelligence and looks. He was theatrically inclined and staged mono-acting skits in college. As a teenager growing up between 1965 and 71, when India went to war with Pakistan, Kaushik became a fervent patriot. It was during a national level dramatic meet in Lucknow, in which he played an Indian Army officer that caught the attention of intelligence officers. Soon after completing his bachelor's in commerce, Kaushik left for Delhi, entering a whole new world of secrets and danger. Kaushik was given extensive training in Delhi for 2 years. He underwent circumcision so he could pass as a Muslim. He was taught Urdu, given Islamic religious education, and acquainted with topography and other details about Pakistan. In the year 1975, at the age of 23, he was sent to Pakistan. Kaushik was given the cover name Nabi Ahmed Shakir. He was successful in getting admission in Karachi University and completed his LLB. He joined the Pakistani Army as a commissioned officer and eventually was promoted to the rank of a major. He soon married a local girl named Amanat. During 1979 to 83, while working as an officer, he passed on valuable information to the RAW, which was of great help to India. He was given the title of Black Tiger by India's then Home Minister, late S.B. Chavan. His operations were going on very well when all of a sudden, in year 1983, Kaushik's cover was compromised. He was captured, tortured for 2 years at an interrogation center. He was kept in various jails in various cities for 16 long years until 2001, when he succumbed to TB and heart disease in Central Jail Mianwali in Pakistan. Ravindra Kaushik, a brilliant man who faked his identity in an enemy country and his own had to disown him. Such is the life of an agent. Durgavati Devi, born on 7th of October 1907, was an Indian freedom fighter. She was one of the few women revolutionaries who actively participated in the armed revolution against the then ruling British Raj. Durgavati Devi, at the age of 10, got married to Bhagavati Charan Vora, an active member of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Durga was a simple lady who took care of husband and child. She used to work as a teacher during day hours and took tuitions for neighboring kids in the evenings. A caring wife and a dedicated teacher. Bhagavati Charan used to participate in revolutionary activities most of the time. Durgavati and Bhagavati Charan's home was not just a simple home. It was in fact a meeting place for all the revolutionary leaders and freedom fighters. Durgavati heard from her husband, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat and others talk about the freedom fight all the time. She took utmost care of them and like her own, and that's why they called her the beloved Durga Bhabhi. Life was very simple for her. Then how did this simple lady turn into a fierce spy? Bhagavati Charan had very big plans. He and the team were working towards a larger goal, preparing explosives most of the time at home. He understood that no one is safe. One day, he called Durgavati and handed a pistol to her. It was time to prepare her for the freedom struggle. Durga was a simple lady, so obviously no British officer would doubt her, and that made her an ideal person to become a spy. Durga used to transfer the explosive from one place to another in vegetable baskets. She distributed pamphlets and inspired people whenever and wherever she could. In the year 1928, the United Kingdom set up the Simon Commission, headed by Sir John Simon, to report on the political situation in India. When the commission visited Lahore on 30th October 1928, Lalaji, Lala Lajpat Rai, led a non-violent march in protest against it. The police superintendent in Lahore, James A. Scott, ordered the police to lathi charge the protesters, and Lalaji succumbed to the injuries. Durga Bhabhi couldn't tolerate it. She suggested that it's time for vengeance. And then Bhagat Singh and Shivaram Rajguru killed J.P. Saunders. 2 days after the killing, Sukhdev called Durga Bhabhi for help, which she agreed to do. Durga Bhabhi was instrumental in helping Bhagat Singh and Shivaram Rajguru escape. They decided to catch the train departing from Lahore for Batenda early the next morning. She posed as the wife of Bhagat Singh and put her son Sachin in his lap, while Rajguru carried their luggage as their servant. Unlike other freedom fighters, after Indian independence, Durga started living as a common citizen in Ghaziabad. She couldn't let go of her passion for the country, even after independence. She nurtured the future generation by opening a school for poor children in Lucknow. Durgavati Devi, our beloved Durga Bhabhi, died in Ghaziabad on 15th October 1999 at the age of 92. This is the story of a mother who stepped into Indian freedom struggle. Next on our list are two brilliant Bengali girls. They played a crucial role in the Chittagong revolt, Preetilata Vadedar and Kalpana Datta. Their names might have faded away. You may not find their mentions in history books in bold letters. But the people of Bengal, even today, consider these courageous women as their inspiration. Preetilata hailed from a middle-class background, and her father was a clerk. She was quite a meritorious student and a true patriot. It is said that Preetilata was greatly inspired by Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi when she decided to choose the revolutionary road for herself. Preeti's degree in philosophy was held back by the British authorities at the Calcutta University. She did not like this, and her resistance towards British Raj grew deeper. After completing her studies, she began teaching at a local English medium secondary school, where she was also appointed as its first headmistress. It was during this time when Preetilata met Surjo Sen, an Indian revolutionary, a teacher by profession, and popularly known as Master Da. She requested Master Da to let her join his armed group of teenage revolutionaries. Although he was initially not sure, he saw her dedication and accepted her as a woman comrade of his group. In fact, Preetilata was one of the principal conspirators of the Chittagong uprising, and her strategies helped Master Da and his fellows to successfully raid the armory of police and auxiliary forces that cut off Chittagong from the rest of the country and escaped from right under the nose of the British. For her bravery, she was chosen by Master Da to lead a mission comprising a team of 40 men to avenge the massacre in Jalalabad by torching down the Pahartali European Club in 1932. She dressed as a Sardar and was unrecognizable. Sadly, their moment of victory was short-lived, as the British troops quickly surrounded them. 21-year-old Preetilata Vadedar sacrificed her life by consuming cyanide. She chose to kill herself rather than surrender to the British. Kalpana Datta, one of the only surviving revolutionaries of the rebellion, was a young, well-educated woman and a great friend of Preetilata. They were classmates, and it was Preetilata who introduced Kalpana to Master Da. Slowly, Kalpana became an integral part of the team. Besides being assigned the responsibility of transporting explosives and other supplies, Kalpana also became an expert in preparing gun cotton, an explosive agent. Initially, both the ladies were supposed to be part of the club explosion mission. But just a week before the attack, Kalpana was detained by the British. She managed to escape, but 3 months after the attack, Kalpana was arrested and she served 6 years in the jail. Post-independence, Kalpana lived a calm life, remembering her friend Preetilata and the sacrifices her teammates had made. In the year 1995, before breathing her last, She had recounted the entire course of events to her daughter-in-law, Manini Chatterjee. She remembered every small detail of it. How could she forget her dear friend Preetilata and others? Her daughter-in-law was so inspired, she went on to author a book, Do and Die, The Chittagong Uprising. This is the story of two young girls who could have chosen a luxurious life with the knowledge and intelligence they had. But instead, they chose to dedicate their youth to their motherland. There are many more unsung heroes who never care about what would happen to them. All they knew was love for their nation, and we salute them.